Good morning and welcome to Sacred Enzyme. I'm Stacy, and this morning I would just like to take a moment to thank you for being here with me this morning and this day and this time in our universe, because we are experiencing so many wonderful changes now. We're becoming aware of so many things, and with this awareness and knowledge, we can help turn our universe into an amazing place and heal Mother Earth. And I have a question for you this morning, and that question is, are you suffering from a lot of joint pain? And has chronic joint pain been a problem that you've been dealing with for quite some time? Do you have a lot of back pain? Do you not feel well? Do you not have vitality, energy, and strength like you used to? So if this is your answer, yes, to these questions, then I want to talk a little bit furthermore about the production of phosphorus in our body. Now, I want to start by saying this morning, I have to give credit to Mr. Roger Spur at Mud Fossil University. He has a very informative website, and he also has a lot of journals that he's wrote in his research. And I have to say, I have learned so much from him about the atomic structure of everything, about matter, universe, in our universe, so many things. Amazing person, and you can learn a lot from going over to his channel. But I support him, and this morning I thought it was funny because Mr. Roger wrote at Mud Fossil University in one of his books, and I quote, "Matter is made up of molecules, which are made up of elements. They only bond with other compatible matter to form minerals." And he said that he wasn't sure why he wrote that. But I have to say that we are living in the past, in the present, and the future all at once. So sometimes you may inadvertently say something or print something, and you're not sure why you said it, but later on it can make a lot of sense because it's a lot of puzzle pieces that are being put together as we find our way along on this journey. And everybody has a special part to play. You have a part to play too. Don't be fooled. You think that, I don't have a special role in all of this. You absolutely do, because everybody has to be in the village. We're all God's children. It takes a village to raise a child, and everyone has to be on board. But you have to be feeling good, right? You have to be feeling good. You gotta want to. You gotta clean up that crown chakra. Get that inflammation under control in your body. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about was your stomach. And your stomach it's an organ in itself, but it's more than just an organ. We have quartz throughout many systems in our body, and there are different parts in your stomach. Your stomach isn't like in compartments, but one of the very important parts of the stomach is the part of the stomach called the fundus, Fundus. And the job of the fundus, and it sounds like fungus, right? There's a fungus among us. Well, let me just tell you, in your fundus, if your fungus is not right in your fundus, that will cause you all kind of problems, because your stomach is a sponge, and it has special bacteria in there that have to do their job. And their job is to take your food, and when they come into the fundus, that's the first time that they come into the stomach. So they're getting a full-on attack of your stomach contents, and that's for a reason, because you've got to be able to digest that food a little bit at a time, put it down a little bit, down a little bit. But also the job of the fundus is it kills microorganisms in your stomach. So if you're not treating that part of your stomach good by eating lots of fermented foods and things like that, your bacteria in your stomach's probably not up to par. So your body can't produce this substance called hydrochloric acid. And hydrochloric acid is what is found in those high fermented foods like kefir and kraut and kimchi and apple cider vinegar and lemons, fresh lemons. Remember how I was talking about lemons are really important for your respiratory health, right? They're really important. Citrus is so important. Very, very underappreciated fruits are our citrus fruits, our grapefruits. And you have to be careful with grapefruit when you take medicine. But oranges and lemons and limes and everything in between. Now they have lemon limes and, you know, all kind of stuff, different kinds of citrus. But citrus and lemons especially, lemons are so good for your gut. They kill germs. They kill germs. They're full of it. They're good for your skin, too. They're good for your skin. So this is an area that is being damaged because of the bad bacteria. And so this is where the H. pylori bacteria are coming into the stomach. Now, the H. pylori bacteria can be very destructive when they get out of control because they're not being kept in check. So when you have that, you instantaneously start out with a problem. It's in the gut right there, okay? So there's this process, it's called homocysteine. And homocysteine levels, if they get too high in your body, they can cause you can get dementia. You know, because you're having inflammation. It causes inflammation throughout your body. It also causes heart disease because you're getting too much plasma in your blood, okay? Now, people that eat a lot of meat, when they eat a lot of meat, their blood gets thick. And maybe you're one of these kind of people that are a big blood donator. And then you stopped giving blood as you aged, and then you started having all kind of heart problems, or you became diabetic. Well, the reason might be because when you're donating blood, those plasma levels are lowered. So if you're eating a lot of phosphorus, which is dense protein, and not to mention that we have a lot of excess phosphorus leaching into our water table. So we're being inundated with phosphorus. And there are different parts of the country that have excessively high levels of phosphorus. Florida is one of them. A lot of people here get cancer. They have to really tweak their diet. They have to be careful to be always drinking clean water, because a lot of phosphorus is leaching into the water table. That's why we have a red tide. That's why when you go to Indian River Lagoon, that they have a red tide there. That's one of the oldest estuaries in the country, and it's being polluted from high levels of phosphorus, which is really sad. Really sad. Those are some of the most ancient ruins are hidden in estuaries. Very, very important to protect the estuaries. But to get back to what I was talking about, that phosphorus thickens the blood plasma, and it also, too much phosphorus damages the endothelium cells, which these cells protect your body from invaders, and it protects your body from getting cancer. You know, when you have too much phosphorus in your body, it can retard the new production of red blood cells, new blood cells, not just red blood cells, but blood cells in general. So I was reading about a study that I have here that talks about the effects of phosphate in vitro. They did a study on this, and it is a very complex interplay between what is happening in the formation in vitro between the kidneys, which are your body's filter, the bones, which, you know, if we don't have proper bone formation, we have bone and birth defects. Parathyroid, which is your endocrine system. This regulates the calcium also in your body. So if this part of your body is not working right, your calcium levels are not right. So we're getting to a myriad of problems. But also a very complex connection between not only the kidneys, the bones, the parathyroid, but also the gut. The H. pylori bacteria. So we have to go back and ask ourselves, where is all of these problems starting? Are they starting in the gut? And is it because we are introducing too much phosphorus into our diets? Okay? Excess fatty foods. And phosphorus damages your gallbladder. And the reason that happens is because that upper part of your stomach, which has all of those things, those bacterias and those enzymes and everything are working, the gas can rise up in your belly. You get gassy when you have eat and you're belching a lot and you got a lot of heartburn and stuff. Check your gut bacteria. Your gut bacteria probably could use some kefir and that's why when people go on they start drinking apple cider vinegar and they said this apple cider vinegar diet. Well, that's because you're helping with that bacteria and help building that good gut bacteria. So you start getting more nutrition from your foods breaking down better. So this is why that when people think that they're doing a diet because they're drinking a quarter of a cup of apple cider vinegar every day, it's just that you're making something happen. That's a sacred enzyme, really, is when God has given you the tools to make your own processes happen. And we just have to find out what they are. What is your process? Your genetics is going to play a lot in the in vitro formation of what happens with this phosphorus. Some people will have an excess of phosphorus. Some people's bodies their genetics will make a mutation where they have a deficiency or just the opposite. So the level of resistance or excess depends on the genetics that's involved when all this stuff is happening. And we have to understand that matter is made up of molecules and they are made up of elements, and that's what we are. And they bond with like elements. So if you are eating a diet of cheeseburgers or a lot of meat, or you're doing the carnivore diet and you're putting too much phosphorus in your body and you're not eating any vegetables, you're not supplementing vegetables and fruit in small portions, and you're not consuming, if you're consuming cola, these things don't convert into the right things they need. You can't just drink a cola and say, oh, I'm going to have so much energy, because you're not, because that sugar is only going to go so far. But that phosphorus is going to accumulate in your body because you have to excrete that through your kidneys. So when there's too much phosphorus in vitro, it causes problems with the kidneys because the kidneys just can't keep up. And especially if you are born with a genetic probability or a genetic mutation that's called MTHFR. And MTHFR, it doesn't allow the enzymatic process to take place that needs to happen to break down these phosphates. And these phosphates, they go through these phosphates when they are overloaded in the stomach. It can cause a problem with the production of carnitine. And carnitine is the cysteine levels that are in your body. And cysteine causes, like I said, it can cause too much cysteine can cause inflammation, causes dementia, it causes heart disease. It affects the blood. So when you're consuming too much blood, you're affecting your own blood. And also you have to think about the energy that is in that blood, If you read the Bible, or if you believe in God, or if you believe in the universe, or if you even study, you will know that Everything has a frequency, everything has a vibration, it has a magnetic field, and cells are intelligent. So when you are consuming cells of another creature to sustain your own self, you are basically filling your body with corpses of other bodies. I think Plato said it, that when you eat meat, you are cramming your body with the bodies of other bodies, which when you think about that way, it sounds pretty disgusting. But in the Bible, Jesus says that there's no more blood sacrifices. Well, he came to tell us that there's no more blood sacrifices. So maybe we should take this literally, that means no blood, no bloodshed. Because when animals are being sacrificed for our own satisfaction or crave for meat, I don't know. I think, could it be possible that there's also a lower vibrational frequency that could be attached to that? And that our body is just not prepared to handle the levels of all of that coming in? Who knows? I mean, we'll have to read more about it. But every single bacteria has a vibration. It has an electrical signature. E. coli bacteria has a signature. Cancer cells have a signature. There is an electrical signature to every living thing. And that's pretty amazing to think about. So anyway, I'm going to do some more about this information, but we're getting close to 20 minutes, and I don't want to keep anybody longer than 20 minutes at a time. I had a video yesterday that went a little bit long, but it was a lot of information, and I didn't really want to cut it in half. But I will talk a little bit more about this, and I also want to say thank you for giving me 18 minutes of your time this morning. And whenever you see this video, which I don't have many people watching these videos now, and that's okay, because there'll be one time when you line up in the universe at the frequency for you to search out this video. When you do, you will be watching it. So we will be in the present, the future, and the past all at one time. So when you see this video, I encourage you to go outside and take off your shoes and put your feet in the grass for 15 minutes and set an intention and say, today is going to be a beautiful day. Even if it's raining, because it's raining here in Florida today. But like I say, all God's creatures need water, and never look a gift horse in the mouth, because one day you'll be without water and you'll be crying for rain. So never complain about rain. All God's creatures need water. So on that note, have a wonderful day, and thanks again for joining me on Sacred Enzyme.